What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video, a true hoot and a holler. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys about the time that I took out a loan and spent it all on carts, because I thought that was going to be the start to my plug journey. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And also, I just want to say, I've been a little iffy the past couple weeks. I know I've been uploading every other week. I've been very busy, and I apologize, okay? We moved to a new podcast studio. My buddy Kyle, who you guys know as Kevin from the videos, just moved here, so I've been helping him kind of get set up and everything. It's been busy, so I apologize for the lack of consistent uploads. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're still over here cooking. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for the patience. And without further ado, let's dive right into it. Now, this one took place a long time ago, at what I would define as one of the peak eras of my degeneracy, way back in 2020. And at this stage in my life, I was pretty down bad. I was getting violently high on pretty much anything I could get my hands on every single day. And I was making enough money to live, but the problem is I would blow it all on drugs. It was a weird era for me. I wasn't completely dirt broke like I was a year prior in 2019, but I still effectively was because I never had any money left after I bought all my drugs. It was just a different stage of my addiction, I think. But at this point, I was getting really creative with ways to support myself, because late 2020 is when issues really started piling up. You know, I was starting to no longer be able to get any credit cards. I was starting to, get letters in the mail threatening to sue me over these debts. Things were really starting to add up from my years of drug use. In late 2020, one of the things that I had turned to getting some extra money to get high after I blew all my existing money was taking out loans. You see, obviously, I wouldn't qualify for any real credit cards anymore that would do me any good, but there was a kind of wave of these new apps that popped up during COVID. There was Dave, there was Bridget, there was a bunch of, I don't remember all the names of them. There's Bridget, there was Dave, there was a couple that probably aren't around anymore, but those are the two big ones that I used to use, were these apps. You would log in and connect your bank account and get a loan pretty much instantly, like same day it would hit your bank account. And as far as I was aware, I don't even think they checked your credit at that time. I think they mainly just checked your monthly income on the bank account you connected, which I was making enough money to qualify for small amounts of money. The problem was they weren't taking into account the fact that I would blow all the money within like 5 days as soon as I got it every single month. The app didn't check that, I guess. So on one fateful day, I had woken up and I was just in a shit situation. I did not have any money left, or very little money, I should say. I was running out of pretty much everything but weed. I remember I literally only had weed left at this point, and that was not enough for me at this stage of my life. Nowadays, only having weed every day is heaven, dude. That's great. I love that. But at this stage of my life, weed was really like background noise to the drugs I actually wanted to do. I needed some Xans, I needed some K, I needed some blow, I needed something in front of me that was actually going to get me high, because the weed, it was just white noise at this point to me. The problem was, I didn't really have any local plugs for any of the drugs I was actually looking for. At this point, I was buying everything online. Literally all my blow, all my Xans, all my K, all my Molly, everything was getting mailed. So I was not able to go out and just be like, hey, can you front me a bag of blow? I'll pay you back the next day. I had to have the money up front. There was no, hey, let me get a front. And also, I always refrained myself from getting fronts. I felt like that was like the end of the road. Once you start running up debt with your plug, it's over with, dude. You got to maintain a good relationship with the plug. So I decided to get a little creative. I hopped on Dave, which is one of the apps that used to loan me money. And I remember I believe it was $500, if I remember correctly, which was a fuck ton of money to hit my account at once at that stage of my life. That it felt like I just hit the lotto, dude. I walked into the casino and hit jackpot. 500 magic dollars just spawned into my bank account. So immediately I grab that money, I go to the ATM, pull out all 500 in cash. It wasn't actually 500. I had to go to like an out-of-network bank. I think I remember I pulled out like a little below 500 or some shit. But either way, I immediately go and get all this money out in cash. And I hop on my phone and I'm going through all the plugs I know that are in my town, Springfield, which I had moved to fairly recently. I think at this point I'd lived in this town for less than a year. So my catalog was not very developed. But there was someone that I had met fairly recently who, for the rest of this story, we're just going to refer to as J-Rock, okay? The reason I call this guy J-Rock is because he truly was J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys. However, he had longer hair. Honestly, he kind of looked like Acid Soulja if he was on Trailer Park Boys. That's really the best way I can describe it. He had this absolute, like, piece of shit gold chain with the cross on it. I promise he's never been to church. This guy had awful tattoos, okay? He would always pop out with a hat that was like 3 head sizes too big for him. It was just, he was remarkable. This dude was a specimen. I hope he's doing well. He was always friendly. He was always a nice guy. But I bought carts off this guy a handful of times just because that was like the average Springfield plug, you know? The other thing is that going into this situation, when I hit this dude up and I asked him for some carts, I had realized fully that I was not going to be getting actual, real high-quality carts here. You see, Springfield was an interesting town to live in. No one really had any money unless you lived with people that had a government job. The only opportunity in the entire town of Springfield, Illinois, is working for the state because it's the capital of Illinois. Every single other job sector outside of government is completely barren in this town. So there's a really interesting divide of the town where there's one corner, it's like the southwestern pocket, where all the government officials and their families live, and the whole rest of the town is just a trap. It's just a shithole. It genuinely would probably be one of the poorest towns in the state if it weren't for the government employees being holed up in the little corner gated community they have, right? Absolutely fascinating. And because of that, fake carts were pretty much all you could get. It's fake carts, fake weed, all cheap shit. There's no exotic. There's no heady. There's no live resin cart. There's no like, oh, top shelf cart. No, dude. We're selling fake blooms. We're selling fake roves. We're selling them for $20 a pop, and they're flying. And the distillate is so fucking yellow, it is glowing like the uranium bar from the Simpsons intro. Absolutely cooked, dude. But that's just what's sold in this area. That's what people could afford. So I went into this knowing fully well that J-Rock here was only going to have the worst carts on earth available. And I expected that because I wasn't actually going to smoke them. My plan was to sell them. So I hit up J-Rock with my little $480. I'm like, yo, how many fucking carts would he give me for this amount of money? I just straight up, I was like, yo, I got this amount. How many carts are you going to give me? He offered me 30, which I thought was a great deal. It came out to like $15 a cart, give or take, which was a very, very good deal for me. I was like, bet, dude, I can make this shit work for sure. Sell them for 30, we're gone, out the door. You see, when I would cook up these kind of plans to make money, they were always an act of desperation that wasn't very well thought out. I woke up this day and I was just desperate to get high. That was it. I wasn't thinking about who was going to buy these carts. I wasn't thinking about how long it would take me to sell the carts. The only thing on my mind was if I buy these 500 carts, it'll be worth the correct amount of money, and I could maybe flip them today to get something else, right? I can make more money off this loan that I just took, and then pay back the loan and still go buy a bag of blow online. You know, I was never the kind of person where I would just take out a loan and go buy the blow. No, I always had some absolutely retarded scheme attached to it, and that almost never worked. So I lock it in with J-Rock, and he tells me to meet him at Quiggly Wiggly, which, for those of you guys who are ill-informed, it's what we called Quick and Easy, which is a gas station that was pretty popular in my town. We called it Quiggly Wiggly, though, dude. Meet me at Quiggly. Pull up to Quiggly. Hey, catch you on the backside of Wiggly. Dude, it's just a better name than Quick and Easy, right? So I go meet him at Quiggly Wiggly, which thankfully was literally right behind my house. Like, it was so close to my house, I could open my window, like, open the curtain and see it. And a curtain is a generous term. I had a blanket with 2 tacks in the wall over the window. But yeah, we'll call it a curtain for my pride. We'll call it a curtain. But either way, so I pull up to Quiggly Wiggly. I pull up to the backside of it. This parking lot, it was really honestly just perfect for selling drugs, okay? You have the front side of Quiggly, which was the main lot that had all the gas pumps. That's where everyone's pulling up. And then they had, for some reason, the backside of the station was also just a big blank paved parking lot with pretty much nothing in it except for one air pump that like nobody ever used because it sucked. I went there one time, it blew no air. It was nothing, dude. It was like me giving CPR to my tire. Useless, dude. But the backside really was handcrafted for drug dealing, and I think Quiggly Wiggly knew that when they built this establishment, okay? Because I pull up Lo and behold, J-Rock pulls up. That's my dog off the leash right there, okay? Pulls up dripping. I honestly don't remember his exact fit, but it's probably pretty close to what I described earlier in the video, okay? A hat that was far too large. He always had the gold chain on. I don't remember if it was a different gold chain every time, because, I mean, I wasn't really staring at it for too long, but man, honestly, exactly what you're picturing in your head is probably pretty close to what he really was. I'll just leave it at that. Textbook. Now, I was expecting the Bloom carts here because this guy had sold me Bloom carts before. I'd gotten Blooms off this dude. He posted them all the fucking time, right? However, this time around, he had the Roves, dude. Let me tell you something, okay? This is something really fun that I learned, okay? For some reason, early and honestly still now, pretty much, I think it'll always be this way. You can take a brand that is bottom shelf in California, a brand that like no one gives a fuck about in California, and just export it to any other state in the country, and instantly the name holds weight, okay? Blooms and Roves are both found in dispensaries in California. Nobody fucking buys them. Nobody smokes them here. Nobody in California goes and buys a Rove cart at the dispo. But for some reason, the other 49 states, okay, the 47 continental ones, think that Roves are just absolutely goated. They think, wow, dude, this is Cali Pack right here. This is it. And they smoke it, right? They buy that shit up. They eat it up because it's from California, not realizing that actually a lot of the stuff that gets exported to the rest of the country is the stuff that can't sell here, the stuff that can't hang. Nobody here is buying Rove carts, okay? But the whole rest of the country loves them. At the time when I was buying these in 2020, I didn't realize that. I was like, damn, dude, he's got Roves? That's even better than fucking Blooms. We're up. I'm about to make so much paper off this shit, dude. 30 fucking Roves. I'm seeing dollar signs. I just hit the jackpot, dude. 30 Rove cartridges. I can't believe it, okay? So we do our little exchange. There was never really, like, I barely knew this guy. There wasn't any, like, oh, how you been? Any small talk or anything. No, very straightforward, okay? He hands me the carts. I hand him the bread. We go our separate ways. I go the fuck back home. Now, I get home, and I realize a couple things. I realize first and foremost that I now have no money left. I also realized that my plan stopped once I got the carts, okay? I had never thought about who I was selling the carts to, which was a problem because at this point in my life, I could count the people I knew in this town on one hand, I'm pretty sure. And that includes J-Rock. Like, I genuinely think I could have counted the people I knew in this town. Okay, maybe two hands, all right? One mutated hand or two hands I could count my contacts on. But either way, it was not very many people. So I start hitting people up, the like 6 people that I knew. I'm like, hey, I got some Rove carts. All right, problem is, J-Rock over here has already served them all. Okay, J-Rock over here, he's running the cart game in this area. So I'm like, damn, all right. J-Rock's got all my customers. Literally nobody was interested. Everyone replied to me. No one really airballed me, but nobody was interested. So now I'm sitting here on 30 fucking Rove carts. They're all horrible. They're all fake. They're all just god-awful. And really, these kind of carts were only going to fly in 2 environments. Either A, the low-income area that I was living in right now, or B, a high school cafeteria. And I don't really want to go back to that. So I was in a pickle, dude. And I was realizing, like, oh my God, I just fucked up really bad. Normally, when I make these kind of plays, I was able to at least, like, recoup some of the money if I fucked up. Like, back when I lived closer to Chicago and I had way more friends, it was easy for me to kind of bail myself out of a shitty re-up because I could just sell it for the low, sell it for a price where nobody would say no, and at least have that insurance. It's like, okay, maybe I broke even or lost some on the re-up, but hey, I still have my money back. In this town, I didn't have that insurance. My license was suspended because of a DUI. I had no valid car insurance, so driving up north was a massive, massive risk. If I wanted to go back to my hometown and sell the shit to where I knew I could sell it, I would have had to take a huge gamble driving up there, which I did pretty regularly, but then I would have had to drive back as well. Just not worth it for $500 worth of fucking Roves, right? Now, luckily, I still had, like, scraps of drugs left. You know, it's not like I was sitting here feeding my ass off cold sweating. You see, usually I would get the ball rolling on these schemes a little bit before I fully ran out of drugs. My definition of running out of drugs was like, oh shit, there's only a bar and a half left in the bag. Or like, oh fuck, I, like, all the cocaine left fits on the back of my phone if I crush it. Like, oh shit, code red, you know, this is bad. I would never wait until I completely ran out. I really had a regiment going. So This first day, when I realized pretty quickly nobody local was going to buy my carts, I was like, fuck, dude, okay, this is not good. But I still had a little bit left. If I remember correctly, I think I just popped a couple Zans that day. I popped the remainder of my Zans. Now, once I got barred out, I got a little more lit later in the day, is when I started to get a little more creative with my plan on how I was going to get rid of these carts. I realized nobody local was going to buy them, which maybe I should have checked in before I copped the re-up. So I did the old favorite tactic, okay? I hopped on dating apps, okay? I hopped on Tinder. I think I was even on Bumble for this one, if I remember correctly. But I was on the dating apps, and I had my normal profile, okay? My typical shit. But what I was specifically doing was I was looking for the girls who you could just tell they smoked. You look like it, okay? You got a tie-dye shirt on? I'm swiping right. I know you're going to buy a fucking Rove cart, okay? You got a septum piercing? I'm swiping right. You'll buy 2 Rove carts, okay? You post one of those first picture on your page, okay? You got nipple piercings poking through the shirt? No bra on? You might buy 3 Rove carts and a Zan. I'm swiping right, okay? I hopped on the fucking dating apps looking for customers because that was the only choice I really had left. Now, let's also not beat around the bush here, okay? I'm not the most chiseled and stunning man to look at for the ladies, okay? So when I say I hopped on the dating apps and started swiping, I don't want you guys envisioning like me getting 900 matches and flipping these carts immediately. No, I'm matching with girls who are like, no disrespect intended. Listen, all the ladies are beautiful. We love all types of women, all shapes and sizes out there, okay? But man, I'm matching up with minor league players, okay? Like kitty league players. I'm no MLB player. I'm no major leaguer, okay? But like I'm matching up with like the Little Tykes baseball championship players, and I'm at least a minor league player. I'm at least on the Savannah Bananas or something, right? I'm matching up with like, dude, holy fuck, like this girl, I think she has brain damage. You know, I'm matching up with the girls who it's like, oh, okay, you're setting me up to rob me. You have no limbs, and you don't look like you can read. Those are the only matches I have available, dude. So I didn't give a fuck, dude. I'm matching with chopped shit. Doesn't matter, dude. I'm hitting them all up, starting a little convo. I didn't want to dive in and seem like the feds. I didn't want to dive in and be like, hey, I sell carts. Come shop, you know? I had to break the ice a little bit. And there was this one girl who, her name's completely irrelevant because it's the only time I ever interacted with her. We'll just call her Ashley, dude. Fuck it. Yeah, save the video, call her ass Ashley. I'm talking to this girl named Ashley that I matched with. And I'm like, hey, she lived a town up. It was like Lincoln something. Lincoln was the full name of the town. Maybe it was. It was like Lincoln something, dude. They loved Abe Lincoln in this fucking area, dude. Springfield, Illinois is where Abe Lincoln was born. Everything in a 50-mile radius is named after or branded after Abraham Lincoln in some way, shape, or form. I'm not fucking kidding. So she lived north in this, like, Lincolnville or whatever the fuck town. I don't know. And we're talking a little bit, and finally the topic comes up for smoking. I ease it in there. I'm like, hey, so you smoke, shorty? She's like, yeah, I do smoke. I'm like, oh, man, I might have to hit this shit crazy style, dude. I might have to get in there like swimwear to sell these carts, you know? So I'm like, oh, like, I got these really fire rope carts. Like, if you want any, you know? This was genuinely meant to be, dude. Granted, this girl only bought 2 of them, but she was like, oh, my God, you have carts? Like, my plug literally just moved. Like, he kind of stopped fucking with my friend group and stuff. Like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, I need someone like you in my life. Oh my God, like doing that little flirty shit. Like, oh, I need someone like you in my life. I'm like, wow, I guess you do, huh, shorty? I'm licking my chops at this point. Hey, I guess you do, shorty. I guess you do. So, of course, we schedule a link up. I'm like, well, what are you doing? And at this point, we're talking. It's pretty late in the night, so she's not going to come over. This is like, you know, dangerous territory for the link up. The sun's down at this point. This woman could show up, phone M's at the back door, he's gonna rob me, okay? Or alternatively, she's gonna show up, the lights are gonna be low, she's gonna walk in, it turns out she's some sort of monster, dude. She's some sort of demigorgon, she's gonna kill me, right? I don't invite the ladies over at this time of night, all right? So I'm like, man, we should hang out tomorrow. She's like, bet. Sounds good, sounds great. Next day comes by, all right? I'm sitting here licking my chops. I'm like, man, she's probably got a friend group, dude. 30 Rove carts, going to be gone by tonight, dude. I'm hopping on fucking Hansa, Alpha Bay. I don't even remember what the site was. Definitely, no. It was not Hansa or Alpha Bay. What am I talking about? Both of those sites got busted by this point. What? I don't even remember what site. It's irrelevant, honestly. I shouldn't even say what site I was using at that point. But either way, yeah. I was going to hop on whatever platform I was on and order my shit that very night is what I was envisioning, right? And hopefully make enough money to pay back my fucking Dave loan, okay? Because that was a lifeline I couldn't afford to lose, okay? Dave was the only motherfucker willing to loan me any money at this point. I needed that dude, okay? I needed that stupid little bear, all right? So fucking shorty pulls up following day. I remember we were supposed to go out grab some lunch. It was like a little date type of thing. Problem was, like, I didn't have the money. This was a really bad play. I agreed to go get lunch. I legitimately did not have the money to pay for both of us for lunch if we went anywhere except like Arby's, okay? So my plan in my head is, yo, I got to get this girl to buy these cards and hand me money before we go to lunch, because then after that we can go to lunch. I'll cover our lunch and she's hooked. She's going to buy more cards, and then I have access to her friend group who she just said her plug stopped fucking with. This is incredible. This is phenomenal, right? It's going to be great. So we link up. She's a nice girl, bro. Like, I think maybe earlier on I worded this to make it sound like this is just some, like, evil fucking wench that I went to link up with. No, she was a nice girl. Not really my type, but, like, that's cool, bro. She was nice. She was fun to talk to and stuff. It was cool. We linked up, but the problem was, when she came over to my house, right, she pulled up, and literally all we did is I just came outside, hopped in a whip, brought all my carts, and we dipped. Now, we hadn't even figured out where to go to lunch yet. Like, she just came and picked me up, and we pull out of my driveway. And I'm like, hey, good to meet you, yada, yada. That kind of awkward little introduction you do when you meet a Tinder date for the first time. And right off rip, I just dive straight into the carts. I'm like, yo, so you said you needed some carts. Like, I got you. I pull out a couple roves. I hand her one. We get up to the red light. I remember she's checking it out. She's like, oh, yeah, this is fire. You even got the box and everything. That's really how I knew. I was like, oh, my God, dude. Like, she's impressed that it has the box. Like, what kind of cart plug did she have before, dude? Where the goddamn J-Rock Roves are impressing her right now. Like, this is chopped, dude. But either way, she's like, oh, you got the box. Like, you're for real? Oh, my God. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Like, what's up with that? She's like, how much for these? I tell her 30, thinking, like, that's pretty fair. I paid, like, 15. I could maybe even ask more. Dude, when I said 30, this chick looked at me like I just told her I snuck the condom off while we were fucking. Like, unbelievable. Like, I just told her she was pregnant, dude. Absolutely nuts. She's like, 30? She's like, do you think I'm stupid? She got really legitimately offended that I tried to charge her 30. She's like, do you think I'm stupid? I'm like, yo, like, respectfully, that's almost what I paid for these. It totally wasn't. I was like, that's almost what I paid for these. Like, you totally don't have to cop them if you don't want, but try one. Like, you'll fuck with it. Try one, just let me know. I had never even tried one at this point, mind you. I was never a cart smoker, bro. I always, like, at this stage of my life, I just smoked blunts. I just wanted to smoke a Swisher or a Dutch or a Game or whatever I could get my hands on. No woods. None of that shit. I didn't want a real leaf. That was too nice for me. Give me a Swisher, okay? Closest I'm getting to a real leaf is like a Dutch, bro. That's it. Those are shitty real leaves. But either way, I was just, at this stage in my life, I was just absolutely not trying these carts. So I had no idea. I was talking out of my ass. And I'm like, oh, just try it. You're going to fuck with it. I hand her one of the boxes. She busts that bad boy out. Holy fuck, dude. I didn't know what I expected, but she ripped the cart. And it smelled like vape juice when she exhaled. It was nuts. It was like, I knew kind of what to expect. I'd gotten blooms off the same plug before, and they weren't great. But these were different, dude. These Roves were nuts. This was probably just vape juice on a 510 cart. Like, legit. 1% THC just to check a box. Like, absolutely remarkable product here. She rips that shit. Oh, this tastes good. Instantly, I'm like, bet, shorty. Hey, I told you it was quality. We up. Deep down, I'm thinking, wow, I just gave her popcorn lung. And in like 25 years, if research advances enough, she could sue me for this. But fuck it, dude. We're up. She fucks with the flavor. So as we're pulling up, we ended up pulling up to fucking Chili's, dude. We pulled up to a Chili's that was on the other side of town. So mind you, this whole conversation about the carts was taking place during a 20-minute drive to a Chili's. We had not even established that we were going to Chili's. She just on autopilot said Chili's, which I'm not going to lie, I fuck with, dude. Okay? Bad bitches eat Chili's, okay? I'm not kidding, dude. Go to a Chili's today. Go to your nearest Chili's. It's full of the finest women in your town. I'm not kidding, dude. No, I'm not kidding. Because you know what? The women at Chili's, they aren't afraid. You know what? I want the extra hot sauce on the wing. You know what? I want cheese fries. They're not afraid to put some meat on the bone at Chili's, okay? All these skinny bitches at Panera Bread, no. I want a Chili's queen, okay? I'm getting off topic here. So, man, listen up. We get to Chili's, and before we go inside, I remember like, oh my God, I have no money. Like, I have to make this serve right now. So I'm really kind of getting pushy. I'm like, man, so you hit that shit, what do you think? She's like, oh, like, I don't know, like, maybe I'll cop some, but I don't have cash on me right now. That was her excuse. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's fine. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck am I going to get around that? Like, she doesn't even have money. I can't tell her, like, hey, go to the ATM right now before we get lunch. I actually can't afford Chili's. Like, I know I told you I was the cart plug and everything, but I can't afford Chili's, you know? So I couldn't say that. So I'm just like, fuck it, man. I'm in for the ride. We're going to Chili's. So we go inside. We sit down at the fucking booth. Oh, my God. I remember I was so nervous this whole lunch. I was thinking to myself, what am I going to say to her at the end of this? Like, how do I possibly, I'm logging into all my banking apps. I'm trying to see if there's a different app that can give me a loan. I'd already taken my Bridget loan for the month. My Dave just paid me today. There's no other apps that would approve me immediately, dude. I would have had to have more history with them. I'm sitting there, I'm like, holy fuck. It's over, dude. Finally, I'm like, fuck it, dude. You know what? I'm just going to eat some Chili's. Maybe we'll dine and dash, dude. I don't even have a car. I don't even have money to call an Uber. I'm about to bail on paying for the lunch for the girl that has to drive me home from it, okay? This is a bad recipe, and I just sold her 2 fake Rove carts. Or one, I don't even know how many she wanted to buy. I was hoping 2. But either way, we eat our Chili's. End of the lunch comes by. It was honestly nice. Like, I mean, listen, I never went on a date with this girl again, but it was an enjoyable, she was a good talker. It was an enjoyable little lunch date, you know? I liked my time, all right? Ashley, if you're out there watching this, I'm sorry I jigged you on the carts, and I should have told you I couldn't afford lunch, but nevertheless, I enjoyed myself, okay? So either way, the time comes to pay the tab, and it's kind of awkward at first. I tell her, I'm like, as soon as the check hits the table, she doesn't like reach for it or anything. She just kind of like looks at me, and I grab it and I act like I'm about to put my card in. And I'm like, right before I put my card in, I'm like, oh, like, you still want those cards, right? How many do you want? She's like, oh, like, I'll probably just grab 1 for now. Luckily, $30 was more than enough to cover a Chili's lunch, at least my portion of the Chili's lunch in this town. And it covered most of hers, too. I don't remember exactly how much our tab was, but I'd gone to Chili's and, you know, all the other similar restaurants in this town fairly often because they were kind of like the fine dining of Springfield. The bill for 2 people was like never more than $50, and that's if you got wasted. If no drinks, you could easily pay like $30-$40 for 2 people to eat, right? And a lot of food. So I asked her, I'm like, oh, you know, I'll tell you what. Instead of having to go to the ATM and pull some cash out, how about I'll give you the cart and you just cover lunch, and then we'll just call it even because I was going to pay for lunch anyways. She's like, oh, wow, that's really a good idea. I don't have to go to the ATM then. Wow. She perks up at that. She can't believe it. I clutched up. In the moment, ladies and gentlemen, 28-3, fourth quarter, I'm Tom Brady, okay? I make it happen. So she covers the tab, and when we get outside, I toss her the cart, right? We hop back in her car, and she just drives me back home to drop off. We're chatting a little bit, like, oh, that kind of formal, like, post-lunch date convo of, like, oh, yeah, I had fun. Like, we should definitely hang out again. Like, that was a good time, et cetera, you know? And at the end of that, I was like, hey, you know, you ever need some carts? Hit me up. And she was like, bet, will do. I think I blew this one because literally the next day I hit her up and I was like, so what do you think? Because I had no other chance of selling these carts. And it was I was now really actually running out of drugs. I was like, so what do you think? She's like, man, I still got this cart. I'll let you know when I need another one. I still got this cart. I hit her up like damn near every day for a week straight. I think I scared her off. I think I was too desperate for the cart sale, which to be fair, I was. I really was desperate for it. But I think I spooked her off. Ashley, if you're out there, I'm sorry. I wouldn't pressure you into buying my booth carts again. I'm sorry, dude. I apologize. All right. And J-Rock, if you're out there, I don't really know what to say to you, man. Keep it pushing with the booth carts, man. But she didn't want to buy the rest of these, and I sat on this fucking re-up for ages, dude, ages. It got to the point where, like, when I had friends coming to visit me sporadically, they would visit once every like month or two. I would just give them to them for the low. I'd be like, yo, $10, dude, $15, dude, bail me out of this Rove cart. Nobody fucking wanted them. Nobody fucking wanted them. This was one of the ones where I literally had no out. There was no emergency exit. I just lit the fucking Dave Lone on fire, ladies and gents. That's the story of the time I bought 30 fake cards. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see y'all in the next one. Don't forget to go tune into the Gobcast too. It's the greatest podcast on the internet. We're now on Spotify as well with 4K video and fully uncensored. Just search the Gobcast. Deuces.